Hello, 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 everyone. New angle, new person. Who is this? Is Monday. It's me. It's Jack Bigadoo, aka Hood Sommelier, here with a brand new episode for you. As you can see, my Hood Sommelier sign somewhere behind me here, somewhere, somewhere around here. Now you can see my sign behind me. But it's Monday. This Monday, just like every Monday, sucked balls. But who's here counting, right? This doesn't happen without the uh, three-time retired hockey player from Kentucky, the man, the myth, the legend himself,
You better believe it.
with his pink, with his pink glass.
The only thing that could have made that more cool if this was a beer. Be like, yep. How about a nice Molson, boys?
We got it.
To the show. Here.
Yeah, hello, hello. How's everyone doing? If you're here, thanks for joining us. If you are on Facebook, just remember, we take stars, and we want you to share this with your friends, um, girlfriends, mamas, and their baby mamas, so they can actually come and hang out with us. Today we have a really good show.
Hmm.
Uh, we are going to talk about a brand that I wish more people talk about.
Right?
Uh,
I'll tell you what. That's why I'm excited because I've been fucking with this dude for a minute, and I'm glad to actually be able to sit down with other people and talk about this. I
it
am.
is interesting. He's very well known, but yet immediately not known. Like he flew under the radar. Like a lot of people, like if you're deep in the industry, you know who he is. If you're
Hmm.
on the surface, you probably don't know who he is.
Yeah, we
Because
don't fuck around with the surface, people.
correct, right. You kind of have to be in to know who he is. But Tim, how was your Monday? Did it
um.
suck as much as mine?
Um, it was all right, dude. I took a friend something, and then I worked on my side hustle, and I ate Indian food.
Did you find my wild turkey
Still working on it.
yet?
Still working on it.
This till you find my white turkey, my Monday is never gonna be the same.
I
Never
uh, I
gonna
I
be the
I
same.
have a buddy who's bringing some over, so I we should have it soon.
Okay. But today we don't care about wild turkey because Thanksgiving is over. That's
Mm.
the only time anybody cares about wild turkey.
So sad.
Yeah, but like the turkey lovers, I'm sure every Thanksgiving are like, What is wrong with y'all?" Like, if you love turkey, like you probably dread, right? You probably dread um like Turkey Day. You're like, all these fuckers are gonna wake up in the morning
Oh,
and they
dude, I
take
post
the
I
picture of
posted
the
just to be
first
that
wild turkey
asshole.
they have.
Yep.
So if you're here, you see me, I'm sharing this with all the groups that I'm in, so people actually know that we are here, so they can come. Facebook people, you can join us, like, share, and you can actually support the Facebook page by sending stars. Pim, pim, pim. We'll take those. But you can also join the Patreon, where we have some amazing barrel picks that we just dropped. A Penelope that will be one of a kind that you probably will never find ever again. And a
Probably not.
wilderness trail rye that is phenomenal. And at the end of the show, I have a surprise for you on somebody who would like to review my barrel pick. He may or may not be a Shalombrini. So I I have a surprise for you at the end of the show. So you want to stick around and find out what is coming down
Check it out.
the pipeline. So but if you're here, we appreciate your support. It is Monday. We know that Monday is never the good day. It's busy for most people, but I hope everyone had an amazing Thanksgiving. And you hated your family beautifully, and you can't wait to see them in about what, a year from now, because that's the only time you are legally obligated to hang out with your family. Um, but beside that, you don't have to do anything. So just know that we saw all your Thanksgiving posts, all your wild turkey. We appreciate it. Now go back and put it back in the back of the shelf, and we good. That's what we wanted to start that way, and make sure that you know. No, we do not care about your Christmas cookies. No, we really do not care about all your Christmas trees And definitely no, please don't post your kids
Oh,
on
you don't want.
the same.
Don't let Jolie hear you say that.
No, oh no, I chose
She'll come
violence
for
over
your
it.
ass.
I totally chose violence over it. That's fine. But please don't post your kids on the same page that you actually post your whiskey. Send cards out to your family. They're gonna see how the kid grow. We are fine. The rest we don't care. But Tim, anything else before we actually start introducing our guest?
um, Not for right now. I just got some cool stuff later on. Well, I mean, I think it's cool. I'm excited about it. But
Huh?
as the show goes,
The show start always the same way. We ask the same question. If you're here at this
drinking.
point,
You
what are we
drinking?
drinking?
What are we drinking?
What are we drinking? What are you guys out here drinking? What are we drinking? The show is Monday. Mondays is the day where we drink crazy stuff. So what are we drinking? That's the question we ask at the beginning of every show. Is what are we drinking? What are you drinking? Put in a comment what you're drinking. We'll display it if you're drinking something, or if you're tired of the 4 days of drinking and now you're taking a break on this Monday. We appreciate it too. So, what are you drinking? We'll love to hear if you're drinking something right now. We'd love to know what is it.
I am currently drinking water,
What?
but that's about to change.
Okay. I was drinking water too, but I didn't want to touch this. Um, I have a funny story. Lee St. Clair. Okay. Spirit of faith.
Ooh.
Good for you. Good for you. Bonus point. Bonus point. If you're drinking, our guest. Bonus point. If you're
Mm-hmm.
drinking, our guest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, somebody got bonus point.
There you go.
All right, bonus
Yes,
point. If you're
sir.
drinking our guest,
Yes,
you
sir.
know
Yes,
what?
I
We
did
need to.
recommend.
I have a crazy idea. What we're
Let's hear
gonna
it.
do is we're probably gonna have our guests maybe prepare samples when we start our show, right? So if the first person to comment what they're drinking on our guest side, that
Mm,
person wins samples to be sent to them.
I like that idea.
Bonus point if you're drinking our guest. Somebody's drinking some larceny.
It's
Larceny.
it's
I love that
Monday.
question. That's a really good question. Trust me, I asked myself the question as well. But
I
Top
actually woke
Dog,
up asking myself that. I was like, is it Monday?
yeah, is it Monday? Drinking adult sippy cup of judgment. That's a good one. I'm gonna use it next time. I'm gonna use it next time. But without further ado, let's start talking about our guests. This brand came around my radar about 3 years ago. Yeah, right in the middle of the pandemic. I thought it was gonna be one of those brand, knowing the person behind it that would be hyped so much that maybe I would sell it one day on the secondary market for $1,000, but that did not work. So I'm still mad about that. But I realized that this person knows a lot about whiskey and they want to put up something that is pretty cool. Design is amazing on the bottle. I think I have a bottle of it somewhere. I have a couple bottle of it. Design on the bottle is amazing. But definitely, I want him to come in and tell us all about it, and we can actually go in. Ladies and gentlemen, the man behind Buzzard's Roots is Mr. Jason himself. Jason, welcome to Monday Sucks. I
What's up,
need
brother?
some
Hey,
clappers.
what's
What's
happening?
up?
How you doing,
Yeah, man. Let's
Yeah,
go.
you're right. Mondays suck,
Jason? Monday does suck.
but we're gonna make the best of it.
As every Monday and the Monday after that, all we do is just making the best of it. That's all we can do.
That's why there's whiskey.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. We
Thanks for
we
being
we are
here, man.
happy. We are happy that you are here. We are so happy that you took your time to actually to be here with us. It's Monday. Uh what do you call it? It's Monday. I love talking about brands that no one hypes because I feel like those brands obviously uh the people that know about them actually give them the respect they deserve. But when I get a chance to talk to those brands, I feel sometimes like we actually get in the nitty gritty of things that actually are about the brand that is just beyond the bottle and beyond just the design or the juice itself. So, Jason, welcome. First question is, who are you and why are you here?
Oh, that's a pretty good question, I reckon. My name's Jason Broader. I'm the founder of Buzzard'S Roost Sipping Whiskeys. Got a little bit of history in the bourbon industry. I started a place called Bourbon's Bistro in
Bourbon Bistro, the coolest place in Louisville, by the way.
I started that in 2005. So we've been doing that for 17 years. It took 17 years to be an overnight success. We've, we were probably one of the first bourbon bars around, bourbon, / restaurants. I know there's plenty of bars and, that were whiskey centered, but we kind of took the helm of back in 2005. I wanted to educate the world about bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of I thought it was under promoted and what a great product. I'm born and raised here in Louisville, Kentucky. So somewhat been around bourbon my whole life. I had some great aunts and uncles that worked at National Distillery, but I wasn't directly, my father wasn't directly involved in the whiskey business at all. But, it was always around family functions and things. So started one of my first restaurants in 1990 when I was a young kid. And then sold that and wanted to start a restaurant and we were sitting around drinking some bourbon. It's like, well, what do we call this? And I was like, we'll call it Bourbons. And was going to do a steakhouse, but got to, reading a lot more about bourbon and studying about it and figured we would call it a bistro with a little bit of the French influence that the French have had on bourbon, much less here in Kentucky. Louisville's named after Louis the 16th.
Yeah.
And we've got a big, it was a big economic driver for New Orleans and sending all of our whiskey down there. So I decided to call it a bistro and just do some kind of upscale Southern stuff. Maybe if I call, Louisville the north of the South.
Mm-hmm.
I think our food goes from here to New Orleans, kind of north of New Orleans, south of here. But, we just were out to educate the world about bourbon and wanted to have a great bourbon bar and a great restaurant. So over the years, I've met all the master distillers, talked with them, heard their stories, developed, we were kind of, I think, one of the first people to do flights as far as bourbon goes.
Mm-hmm.
Give people a chance to try something that they never had, which that was more, again, part of our education. Then we started doing single barrels, so I've done probably over 100 single barrels just through the restaurant there. I've been on that many picks over the years and just, got a pretty decent palate and a good taste for bourbon and decided at one point, why wouldn't I give it a shot? If I could raise the money or whatever. So we tried to raise some money for a distillery, fell a little short, several $1 million. So we decided to start our own brand. And like everybody else, that's got a young brand out there that isn't wealthy, we source our whiskey, which we're very transparent about. We source our whiskey from MGP in Indiana.
Okay.
We will ship it to Bardstown Bourbon Company, where we rebarrel it at that point, and we'll put a secondary age on it. And Bardstown Bourbon Company then bottles it, and we will ship it from there. Left a few details out. That's just kind of a rough sketch, and I know you'll probably get into a little bit more.
Absolutely. Since we have some of the bourbon here, what do we start with? Where did you start Buzzard Roots? Is it the straight bourbon? Is that where you started?
Actually, we started with rye.
Okay.
Very, very,
very small batch. It was 2 barrels, and our single barrel was a single barrel.
Okay. And after that?
Yeah, we did that with the help of Royce Neely. Helped me get bottling and all of that. Helped me really got me up off my feet. Royce is a great friend of mine, and can't thank him enough for that. Then we grew a little bit. So then we went to Kentucky Artisan, and those guys over there are fabulous. They helped us along too, kind of pushed us down the road a little bit. Gave us a one up, and then. Now we're great working partners with BBC, and we really love it with the growth that we've got, and just a great partner working down there. So thank all those guys and gals along the way, and they've kind of helped us be what we are today so far.
Okay, so I see here, and I will be honest, I don't know all the things that you have out. The latest one that I've tried that was about a month ago was your toasted American whiskey.
Yeah.
And before that, I think I only had your straight, which I'm trying to look for right now. But I only had the first ever bottle that I bought, I believe, was is it this one? Yeah, your barrel strength straight rye. That's the first ever bottle of yours that I bought.
Is that the 114 proof on that one, or?
Yeah, it was 113.4.
113. Okay.
So that was like the first ever bottle. This bottle have been sitting here for about 2.5 years now.
So, I don't know what you're waiting on.
I know, right? Yeah, that was the first bottle of yours that I bought, and
I'm gonna pour the straight bourbon. I think that's a good place to start. What do you think, Jay?
Okay. All right, yeah, we can start with a straight bourbon. Which is 105. I see also that all of them are 105. Is there a theme you're trying to keep going? Why are they all 105?
Well, when we started developing this product, we wanted sipping whiskeys, and I had talked to a couple of people, and I said, if you can make me like ryes, then we've actually done something, because my history in the bourbon business is a long one, and I really was not a big fan of rye whiskey. I'm more of a sipper. I'm not really a cocktailer. I think ryes are great for cocktails, but as far as what I'm doing, I'm sitting around sipping whiskey. And I thought ryes were, had just a little bit too much bite in a lot of them. So what we did is, put it in our influencing barrels. And like I said, we'll get into that, but just love the ryes now. So I'm a big fan of it, but it's sipping whiskey. That's what it's meant for. But
I know you're saying that, but I see here that your bourbon, which is a straight bourbon, I'm assuming is over 2 years old, is 105, but also in a char one. This is the first time somebody took that bold of a stent, because I would say, not to put everybody in the same bucket, but we all lean towards the heavier charred versus actually just being on a lighter charred, because I feel like there's a lot of tannins that comes in a lighter charred versus actually heavier charred, because everybody's looking for those darker caramel, burnt sugar type of note versus actually the more of a citrusy almond-ish note when you have a lighter char. Unless I got the math completely wrong, I will let you answer that.
Yeah, well, like I said, the 105 that's our bottom line, and that's good for sipping, and also I think it stands up to cocktails. If you want to make a cocktail with it, it'll stand up to anything you want to put on it. But the char one is really, it's kind of industry. It's way different than what the industry's doing.
Very.
The industry's used to 3 and 4 char.
Correct.
But I've been working very closely with Independent Stave Company. They're one of the biggest barrel maker in the world. And a buddy of mine down there, Andrew Webrink, he's head of their wood research department. I've learned more about wood over the past 3 years than anybody needs to know. But you'd be surprised, all the data and the research that he's done and we've went over is char one has actually about 33% more extractives than a char 4. He's done all kinds of experiments with char 4, char 1. We've done one where a 4-year was put in a char 1, a 4-year was put in a char 4, and the color on the char 4, the char 1 is actually better, if not a little bit darker than the char 4.
Really?
So, also, what the char 1 allows our whiskey to do. So, if you think if this is an exaggeration, if this is a char 4 thickness, this is a char 1 thickness. So when our whiskey sits in the barrel, it can easily get through to the toasted layers that we've built behind those. So we have specially toasted barrels. We do across the board, it's generally a heavily toasted barrel with a char 1. So what we're doing with those those different toast profiles is we're bringing wood compounds to the surface. We're bringing things like lignin. Lignin will turn into vanillin at a certain point. We're bringing furfural, eugenol, all of these things to the surface, and leaving the bad stuff behind and bringing the good stuff to the surface. So that char 1 is really it really works for our product a lot better, because even with a char 4, so you toast a barrel, the char 4 actually burns up some of that toasted layer that you brought to the surface. Our char 1 barely gets into that toast, and just enough char to do the filtering like you're talking about. It helps with the tannins and such, but it puts great color, and it's kind of a gateway to the toasted layers that we've put behind there.
Matt asked a question. He said, "How long are your second barrel periods on char 1 toast?"
That's a great question. All of our, unless it says toasted alone, all of our barrels are char 1, and it could sit anywhere from 2 months to a year. These things won't overcook. We buy aged whiskey. So everything that you see has been previously aged in a char 3 or char 4. But we're on the schedule to get some new make this year, and that'll go directly into a char 1 barrel.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we're going to find out pretty quick what's going on. But the char 1, with all the data that we've found, is just unbelievably hands down better than the char 4.
Do you have a mash bill on this bourbon?
Our bourbon, there's 2 different mash bills that we use. We're trying to get a very consistent product. When we start with MGP's whiskey, we're starting like a big cone, and then we'll blend their bourbons. It's the 36% rye and the 21% rye. We will blend that. Then we'll put it into our barrels, a certain number of our barrels. We have 15 proprietary barrels that we can use. And then after that, we blend it again with a recipe. So we're, starting with this big round cone, and we're kind of working our way down to making it more and more consistent at the end of the day.
So, okay.
A lot of information.
No, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's like, you will consider your bourbon a high rye bourbon.
High rye bourbon, yes.
Because obviously the spice note on this bourbon is much more elevated. And averagely, you say aged bourbon, so I'm assuming 2 years. Are you adding another?
Now our bourbons are probably 4 and 6 year blended.
Okay. Are you adding another 6 month to it when you're aging it in char 1?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I will say I'm curious to try the toasted American oak stirred bourbon. Is that the first aging and then the next aging move to the toasted barrel? Is that how it works?
That's correct. Yeah, the second aging is just in a toasted barrel. So a lot of those notes are going to be kind of fresh and crisper a little bit. Maybe almost a little bit raw to me, if that makes sense.
Sure.
But it should have some of that, warm, buttery notes of a toasted barrel.
Jason, how did you go from being a guy that doesn't like rye to starting a company that was all rye forward, and just recently within the last year getting into bourbon? Like That was a pretty interesting transition. Was that on purpose? Is that just the way it went? What was the why'd you go that way?
Well, all this was an experiment at first, and we really didn't want to screw up a bunch of barrels and be out a bunch of money. I could get into the game a little bit less with rye. Plus, with this secondary barreling, we used the barrels one time. They're brand new 53-gallon barrels. I say we don't take shortcuts because I'm kind of a traditional guy. Sure. This is legal, what we do, putting it in a new charred barrel. But I didn't want to come out with a product that was a bourbon because I was a bourbon guy and didn't want to hit I didn't want to hit the market with over $100 bottle of bourbon for one, and early on it would have been very expensive. Now we've, got some better practices. We're buying bigger volumes, things like that. So I didn't want to hit if I hit the market, me being who I am, and hit the market with a $150 bourbon and it sucked, that just be career ending for me, just personally. And as far as my credibility in the community. So, but the rise, I thought, because, when Andrew came to me and said, "Oh, I bet you'll like these ryes," and I said, "Well, I bet you I won't." That was kind of a challenge to me, and to make a rye to where I wanted to sip it. Like I said, I call it bourbon drinkers ryes.
Sure.
That, doing some experiments and things, I was and seeing the data, I said, well, let's do it, and it worked out well, I think.
Okay.
Definitely.
I think the next question I have is, since you want a char one, how toasted are these ryes?
What do you mean, our length of toast?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're transparent about everything that we do, except when you start to get to talk about how long we toast the barrels and how we do it. I mean, we do it for different lengths of time for different components that we want to bring out. So each barrel profile is different. We also use different types of heat. And one thing, all of our wood is dry aged in the yard for 18 months. I think the closest distillery to that is Makers, and they do theirs for 9. So even, we start from the wood. If you talk to any master distiller out there, 70% of the flavor comes from the wood. So if everybody's blending, we almost kind of reverse engineer it. Let's start at the wood and work backwards. Let's do what we can with the wood. So can we make it better? So for one, dry aging in the yard, it's almost just like dry aging a steak. For me being in the restaurant business, it's breaking down all that fiber and all of it. And so the dry age is a must. Each step along the way, there's a lot of care taken in what we do.
Okay. Yeah, there's herbaceous notes that are coming from the toasted bourbon. That usually you don't find on you expect like caramels or more of the, I like to call the kind of the kitchen baking type of note, but this have
baking
more
spices.
Correct. This have more kind of black tea, more on the, is it are you getting any of that, Tim?
I'm definitely getting way more barrel influence.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's surprising for being a high rye, how much more, and not being crazy old in age. You said like between 4 and 6 years. You get good vanilla notes. It's not over tannic. Like, I like it, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I do tastings all over. Like we're in 10 states now, as well as Alberta, Canada. We also just went online with Bar Cart. We're available in 32 states online.
Yeah, I was about to say, I saw you expanded your ability for people to purchase directly through you. So in 3 years now, you guys have expanded distribution expanding. They're talking about volume. You guys are expanded through bar card to 36 states, you say?
32 states, and then
32.
plus physically we're in 10 states, and then one province in Canada. So next year, by first or second quarter, we're supposed to add another 15 states.
Okay.
Physically, where you can go to the stores and get them.
Okay.
So the online definitely has picked up our presence out there. But we have a pretty aggressive growth that we're looking for.
Okay. So so I see the ride like 3 years ago, this ride that I have here. Are you guys still producing this ride or that's gone?
Yes.
Okay.
We have contracts which have been up in the air at some point, but we do have contracts for the next several years
to actually get more rye in. So this is the straight rye. So this will be a perfect opportunity since we have the cigar rye. I want to give a try to this original rye, and this is barrel strength.
Jason, do you have 8 SKUs now?
So we've got a few more than that, but
okay.
What we're trying to do is narrow it down. We find what we like and what customers like. So we're going to have 6 base products, which would be 3 ryes and 3 bourbons. We will have a char 1 rye, a toasted rye, and a barrel strength rye. We have a char 1 bourbon, toasted bourbon, barrel strength bourbon. Now, quarterly, we will rotate in stuff. I know Jack mentioned the cigar rye, which I have here.
Mm-hmm.
We rotated that in. We have a cigar rye. We have a peated rye, which the name got scratched, but we're still going to put it on the market. It's going to be called smoked rye. So we have cigar, smoked rye. We have a French toasted oak bourbon, which was really cool. That came out for a little while. And we've also, what else did we have? I know we've got something else out there rolling around. But
so as far as the base goes, you'll have
the
base is going to be those bourbons and ryes.
Yeah, and then there'll be what we call LTOs. There'll be limited time offerings with the cigar rye, the peated or the smoked, and French toasted oak. You know, we've got a few things to, and we're still doing experiments moving forward. I don't think we won't hopefully stop innovating.
Do you have a mash bill on this rye?
All of our ryes are 95.5.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So it's a huge rye. I mean, if you think about American ryes, I think Wild Turkey is the highest rye out there, which is 57% rye. Mm-hmm. Most of them on the market are in the low 50s. But so this being, to me, it's 3 non-selling points that I turned into selling points. To me, it's a huge rye, it's young, and it's high proof.
Correct.
It doesn't.
Three of those work for me. 1 doesn't.
Yeah. But it doesn't taste like any of that to me.
Yeah.
And like I said, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I mean, some people, there's certain ones they like, there's certain ones they don't like, and that only helps us to move forward with what we're doing and try to make the best whiskey we can.
No, obviously, I'm sure, and this, you can disclose this or not, but I'm sure you have some stuff also aging.
We do. Mm-hmm. We do. But
we
right now, I mean, it's
95.5 rye itself is, I like to call, is kind of the golden formula in the industry. Anybody put out a 95.5, hell, Smoke Wagon made all their fortune based on 95.5 rye that they release, and a lot of companies release 95.5 ryes, but they're more in the 6, 7, 8 years old. But obviously, they also are not sold at the price you selling this bottle. So I can't wait to see, with the innovation that you're doing with the barrel, what would this look like a year or 2 from now, right? Because everybody's using chart 3 or chart 4 95.5 rye. You kind of expect a certain flavor. You know already almost what you're going to get. So this chart 1 style that you're going with, which is different, or the toasted style that you're going with, for me, I cannot wait to see what the aging is gonna do to the barrel, to the juice itself. I love the
Yeah,
95.5 rye. Is my favorite type of rye. I just want to see a little more of those less herbaceous note and start seeing more from the barrel effect on the juice itself.
yeah. I mean, we're hopeful and looking forward to that, and time will tell for sure.
The when you call it a cigar rye, what makes it the cigar rye?
So what we've done is we did our heavily toasted barrels. We charred it with a number one char, and then we actually cold smoked the barrel with some Kentucky tobacco.
Mm,
Pretty wild.
mm.
That's why I was doing the happy dance because this is my favorite product that you have done to date, and I'm so happy it got re-released.
Yeah,
I've
it's
been
pretty
drinking this,
special.
been drinking the shit out of it.
That'll come about, like I said, maybe once, twice a year. We're thinking maybe twice if we put it out in Derby and then in the fall again.
Would you show that
Yeah.
that bottle again?
Whoa. There we go.
Nice. Okay.
Batch
Okay.
two. We did 10 barrels of this. The first batch was 3 barrels, and both have just sold out in record time. Um, so we haven't sent this one to San Francisco yet. I'm kind of
Mhm.
curious to see. We have sent 7 of our whiskeys to San Francisco, and we've won 7 medals. So we're
Mhm.
real proud about that because I know that's the only competition we enter because it's
Mhm.
recognized by the industry, and we realize that they don't, it's not pay to play. They just don't hand medals out to everybody. So
Correct.
we've gotten a double gold, 4 golds, and 2 silvers. So we're pretty happy about that, and we can't wait to see the results of this year coming.
This is quite interesting.
This is I love this because it has so much character for
Mhm.
being,
If I did not
it
know,
doesn't show its youthfulness. It's it's got cinnamon and leather, and you get a tiny bit of that tobacco note, and it's a little smoky. Um, I want ribs. I want a big old stack of ribs.
that's what I was about to say. I want steak. Like when I had this right now, I'm like, yeah, I want some meat.
Yep.
Like you guys should call it the meat rye.
Hey, maybe a different one. We've got something. We've got a few things up our sleeve.
It's it you have this whiskey and all you want to have, either even if you're vegetarian, you want some smoked I don't know, eggplant,
Eggplant, smoked
whatever it is that
eggplant. There you
people
go.
eat, some smoked tofu, but
Cheese,
you
tofu, eggplant,
but me right now,
portobello.
all I want, like literally all I want, it's I want some meat right now. That's literally all I want. I just want some meat. It can be rib, it can be steak, but I want some grease and I want some meat.
You need a special at the Stro. It's gonna be the Swanson special. And it's a big old glass of the cigar rye and a plate of meat.
And a
You get
plate of meat, like a
like a
like a
4 ounce. Like a
tomahawk steak, and a
that's
four
on the
ounce
that's on the
serving of this rye. That's the special y'all are doing for today. A
Two
tomahawk
hundred and
steak,
forty-seven dollars.
two hundred
Yep.
and fifty dollars.
Let's
There you
go.
go.
Let's go. The Swanson special.
48-ounce tomahawk and a
Yeah,
48 ounce cigar rye.
yeah. That's we give you a bottle of cigar rye and a tomahawk steak. You're welcome. Somebody is asking if they can get in New York. Did you say they can go on your website, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure the 32 states because it just got active like 2 days ago.
Okay.
So there's 32 states that bar cart that is agreed to that we can sell through. But will be in New York State, all over the state. I think first quarter or second quarter, at least by second quarter of next year. I'm hoping first quarter.
Okay. But I will give you guys the website here so you guys can actually go check and see if you order, if you can actually get your um you can see if it's possible for you to get Let me make sure that I put the website up. Yeah,
Barcart.
is no, it's buzzardroots.com. If they click on it,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
they
click
can
on it and
actually
then go from our website.
yeah, it will literally you click on the buy
Got it.
now and it will
My
tell
bad.
you. So actually New York is part of it.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
available to order in New York through Barcart. So you just go on the website, buy now, and you can find it right there. Yeah. So it should be available for y'all. I'll keep it up there so you guys can actually just get the website and you can grab a bottle if you want to. I would definitely advise that you actually go on the website and just sign up. They're really good. Whomever built this website did a really good job at it. I really like it. I've checked it out a little bit to actually know. Always get curious about people's website and what they put out there. I've already checked on the buy now, look at all your product, look at availability. So, and you can join the mailing list. And if you click on subscribe, then anytime anything new comes out, they will actually let you know. You're welcome, Jason. I already did the homework.
Thank you. Thank God somebody did. They got me, I don't know what day it is. Well, I do know today's Monday.
So just remember that if you want to get any of their product, I will honestly say um uh I actually love that you guys are playing with the rye because I tell you what, it becomes boring quite quickly sometime when you get to this whiskeys, and you've been in the industry long enough to know that you end up tasting almost the same thing over and over and over, and it's like, okay, you want something different sometime to just shock the system, and this cigar rye definitely does shock the system. It gives you a different perspective on definitely what should the people look forward to, if somebody needs to look forward to at Buzzard Roots, what are the things they should look forward to either for the end of the year or first quarter of next year? What are things that people should look forward to?
Well, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. We're going to expand into some different states. We're going to get out and we'll get into those markets. We'll do some tastings, on site at different restaurants, different bars, different stores. Um, and then we're still innovating. So be looking for all these other innovative products that we've got coming out, like the limited time stuff with French oak is really cool.
Are you gonna experience with French oak,
Pardon me.
or you gonna experience with French oak, or
We,
you
we,
started already experimenting with French oak?
yeah, we've already had we had a French oak bourbon already out. It was a small
Okay.
batch. We did that. That was got good reviews.
It sold out fairly quickly.
Yeah, and we look for our cigar, just try our regular products. I mean, if you're new to the business, even if you've been in the business a long time, new to bourbon, new to whiskey, even if you're not, even if you're an old hat, I think we've got something out there for you. Give the line a try. Like I said, I feel like I'm doing my job when I go do tastings. Everybody doesn't focus on one,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
I love this one over, and that stands out, but it's all over the board.
absolutely.
People love them for different reasons.
Where
And
did the idea for this come from? That's one thing I've always wanted to talk to you about. I feel like I never got to. I mean, because nobody's done this, to my knowledge. No one smoked a barrel of tobacco.
Well, that came from Andrew down there at the Independent Stave Company.
Okay.
We're a small enough company where I've listened to him extensively.
Mm.
He's a brilliant man, knows what he's doing. And, like bigger companies, somebody like Beam or whatever, that's a big ship to turn around. Like,
Sure.
we're such a small company. It's like, why not? I'll give it a shot. And we put it through the the test. We put it and make sure that it's something that I want to put out. I mean, I like I said, I think I'm got fairly high standards in whiskey. And I wouldn't put anything out that I wouldn't stand behind, or I always say I'd put my stuff up against anybody blind, and it's not gonna hurt my feelings at all. That's just a win-win for me. To be included in the conversation in one of the heritage distilleries is just blows me away. It's just fabulous to go and see my product in the airport or in a different state. It's amazing.
That's definitely something to be proud of, because I know, I mean, it ain't easy. People talk as much as they want, but it ain't easy. Owning a product and making sure that you standing behind that product takes a lot of work and pride. I will say congratulations is all you do. I know you are connected enough in the industry to come up with something that will impress us all the time. Since you've been in a long time, you're not gonna bore us with just regular schmegular stuff. There's no one that can pull your beard that will just come up with regular schmegular stuff, right?
I don't know. There's a few out there.
So I would say congratulations on what you do. Thank you so much for being here and coming on the show and hanging out with us. For all of you guys that are here, you want to see Jason's face and beautiful smile? When you get into Kentucky, make sure you stop at Bourbon Bistro and stop in and say, "Hey, there's this asshole called Jason that make whiskey. You guys bring him out here so I can say hello." There is about 50% chance that they will say, "Hey, he's in the back there, just probably teaching somebody about whiskey, or just taking care of something or business out there." The first time I saw you, you were sweating like a hooker in church, just running back and forth there from the bar to the kitchen, because apparently you were just, there was a big party. And then I saw you come out and you were quiet, you were just calm and relaxed out on the porch there. And I'm like, oh, this is what he does. This is what he does. So thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you coming on. But you cannot leave today on our show. No one leaves our show without actually doing this. You are on Monday Sucks, so we always ask people, especially of your caricature, to give us an advice that does not suck. It could be something you hear from your mama, your baby mama, your grandfather, your drunk uncle, or even your spiritual guru. What is an advice that does not suck?
Advice that doesn't suck. I don't know. I've been led astray and down the wrong road. I think I'd be handing out bad advice if I did it. Advice or
You
something.
let us be the judge of that.
Let's see. I should have prepared a little better for this one. Advice doesn't
This is
suck.
the curveball.
That is the curveball. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Got to give us something.
Advice that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I would say never judge a book by its cover.
Okay. That's a good one.
I'll take it.
Never judge a book by its cover. It's not because Jason does have this long ass beard that he means that he doesn't love everybody. So never judge a book by its cover.
Never judge a book by its cover.
That is probably one of the oldest. In French, we say adage, one of the oldest sayings that the word need to hear more often, which is never judge a book by its cover, because truly, never judge a book by its cover. It's one of those things that you truly have to keep in mind when you're approaching people or approaching situation. Hell, when you're approaching a whiskey, even don't judge a whiskey by just its color.
It's across the board. It's
Right.
whiskey, people, situations.
So, Jason, thank you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. We're going to let you get back to your Monday. Hopefully you relax and he sucks less than what we actually having. Cheers for coming on a show. We appreciate you and we're happy to have you here.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother. See you soon,
Thank
my
you
man.
all. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Cheers, bud.
Party people. That was Jason from Bourbon Bistro, and most of all, Buzzard'S Roost. I would definitely advise you, if you on your first visit, Bourbon Bistro is a place that I demand. I get a lot of DMs all the time. Oh, I want to go to Kentucky. I'm going to Louisville. I'm gonna do this, this, and that. I tell people, hey, trust me, if you go into Louisville, your first stop before you do all your distillery tour, you get there before 9 o'clock. Make sure you drop by Bourbon Bistro, grab yourself a drink. There's this black man that remind me of my uncle behind the bar usually, and he is knowledgeable. He is he is your uncle. He will have you try everything and anything. He knows what the hell he's the first time. And this is me talking from the perspective of a black immigrant that walked into Louisville right after Breonna Taylor.
Mm,
That's literally the first time I went to Louisville. Was right
mm,
after Breonna Taylor. And I will tell you, everywhere I walked in the city was a little weird.
mm,
It was a little weird. But when I went to dinner at Bourbon Bistro, for not a second, I felt out of place. Not for a
mm,
second, as a black person walking into that establishment, I felt different, weird. It was beautiful seeing just a friendly smile, just saying hello to me and sitting there having dinner. Food was also amazing. I was like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. Right. Food was amazing. So I would definitely tell you, you want to see Jason, you want to try Buzzard Root, you want to also talk to the man directly himself. He's probably the most approachable,
oh,
one of the
totally.
most approachable people in the industry. It's weird. For how much he's done, like it's weird that he's so approachable because I still remember when we had I met the people from the Bourbon Run, and
Hmm.
this was people from California, OC Bottle, and all, and we all just packed like 20 black guys, just loud as shit, packed in the back of his establishment, just having a good old time. He just came out and said, "Hey guys, how you doing? Oh, we don't." I was like, "Okay, anybody need anything? You want to drink something?" And that he pulled out a little bit of that Buzzard Roost out. He bring it out. We tried it, and I was like, "This guy is cool as shit. This is cool as shit." So I there's not a lot of establishment in Louisville that I run into or I look forward to dining at when I go there. But from the staff to the establishment itself
Mm, mm,
to even the man himself behind
mm.
the door is they do an amazing job. So shout out to Jason and what he's doing out there. I like I said, this rye impressed me. I'm gonna wait a little bit on the bourbon to see what age, what are we looking at, because his Char One theory got me intrigued. One of these days, I want to produce my own whiskey, and this his Char One theory just got me start thinking. Like in my head right now, everything is rolling. Like, is this
There's
man?
a whole
Does this man know something that I don't?
That's the crazy because like there's a whole I sat through a whole like class that Andrew did and he broke down like all the structure and like all the science behind it and why it's the way that it is and yada 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 yada. And the cool thing now that they've been doing this going forward, you're starting to see some of the big guys move into this like char one toast or char one level one char and with the toast and blah 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 whatever. Like you're starting to see it happen. I
I
think it's
I was quite impressed and yet behooved at the same time, because I was like, okay, for Jason to actually be in, Kentucky. I mean, he's a Kentucky kid, right? He been there, done it. You would think he was just going the same route as everybody, but he's like,
you
nope,
think
fuck this. I'm going the other way. I'm
yeah.
bringing something new to the industry, and we love to see it. We love to see it. Um, but um, how was your Thanksgiving, brother?
Yeah,
It was all right.
it's all right.
It was all right. It
My
was
family's my family. I wasn't with my family, so it was that part was sucky. But
absolutely.
I got to hang out with a couple of friends, so it was cool. That was
That's
cool.
always
But
that's Friendsgivings are always a good thing.
it was just hard because that's not my normal. Like I don't
Correct.
had to like shift gears and be somewhere
Adapt.
different
You gotta
mentally and
adapt.
emotionally.
You gotta
Oh
adapt.
yeah. Oh yeah. How about you?
Dude, it was all right. I rated my friends. I rated my friends those like here's a rule. A rule in my house is, a lot of people that have been around here, if you ever came to my bar, I have two rules. One, if it's open, you can drink it. I don't care how much it is. If it's open, you can drink it.
Sure.
Rule number two, if I was planning on opening it, we open it together and drink it.
Mm.
Right? So guess what? Everybody does it, but then when I go to people's house, I can't do it. Like I gotta ask permission, like, hey, I'm sorry, can I try this? So my friend Corey, amazing guy. I mean, just every time he comes to my house, he knows I have, the high-end bottle open, and he just have a good time. And I love to see him. Like Corey never left my house and not be stumbling out. Right? He's like, okay, I'm good. Right. But I never actually went to his house and just went wild before. So I went to his house. I'm like, you know what, Corey, I'm drinking everything. Today I'm drinking everything. So the Redbreast Kentucky barrel that they use, I went to it. Bunnahabhain, I went to it. The Catherine, they didn't open it. I said, fuck it, I opened it. Went to it. Went through like 8 bottles. And then at the end of them, I'm like, that George T. Stagg looked really nice. Right now, I was already fucked up, right? He's like, oh, I opened it about a year ago, but I just sip on it a little. I was like, pour me a couple ounces of that shit. Let me go. Then I look at it, I'm like, you know what? That Thomas Handy looks pretty nice. That's my favorite. So let's just say Black Friday was not so great. I had to sleep it off.
Oh, there you go.
I went a little too crazy on that. Top Dog is thanking you, Timmy, for helping him.
Hell yeah, man. Absolutely.
Getting his first bottle of Buzzard's Roost. And I will tell you, a place in Louisville, if you don't find what you need at the Bourbon Bistro, you go there and they ran out of something. Try to hit up Timmy. Say, hey Timmy, let me come see you at Justin House of Bourbon, so I can actually find bottles that maybe I cannot find on a regular day at Buzzard. So go get your food, get fed at Bourbon Bistro, and just drive down to Justin House of Bourbon. What time does Bourbon Bistro usually open anyway?
7? I want to say that they're a dinner joint, so I think they open at 5.
Is it 5?
I want to say.
I think it was 6 o'clock, the earliest I ever been to Bourbon Bistro. Right, so like 6 o'clock, that was the earliest I've ever been to Bourbon Bistro. And also, believe it or not, it's the only place where you can actually find people that work in the industry. It was the weirdest thing because I walked to Bourbon one time.
4:30 Tuesday through Thursday.
5 p.m. Bourbon Jeepers got
Tuesday through Saturday, 4:30.
4:30. See, funny thing, if we go there, I was so shocked. I saw somebody that worked for a stave company. I saw a couple people that were visiting the state that had a brand. I saw like 2 people that were. I'm like, wait a minute, what are all of y'all doing here? So it's a pretty network as well.
Oh yeah.
Network place. So, yeah, let's just say I went a little ham on that.
Go a little ham. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man.
I did.
Nothing wrong with that.
What you got for us? Upcoming news. What you got?
So I actually just found out about this the other night, and I'm really excited about it because it's kind of whiskey adjacent.
Okay.
But Jackie, our good old friend Jackie Zycan, she's been flying under the radar and working on her own fragrance.
Oh.
So not only do you drink whiskey, you can now smell like whiskey.
I don't know about that.
But there's a whole bunch of other really cool scents on there too. So they got the Walk of Shame, Blue Jay.
Oh, she went wild.
Oh yeah, Feral Gent, Dice, Base Camp, Hiker Trash, Mint Julep.
Hiker Trash. Oh,
good mood, Jude. You know her in the outdoors.
Yeah.
Wildfire and Mile High.
Mile High as in Colorado.
Yeah, and then if you click on the fragrance, it'll kind of give you a breakdown of what's actually in it, what to expect.
The lies you out here telling. She just fall right in the category of a perfect blender to actually come up with her own.
Well, she has. I'm out on that one hard. No, hey man, I like smelling good. I like those oaky, woodsy, musty notes. So this is, like I said, I'm very excited about this. It's Ode to Oak. is the name of the brand, and you can find it at oduoak.com.
You can type. Can you type it in a comment so I will make sure
Hell
I
yeah, I
put
can
it up?
type it in the comments.
Yeah.
I can totally do that.
That's interesting whiskey news.
But yeah, like I said, I'm very excited about it. I'm stoked for her. She's been working on it, and it just now they just now made made a big deal about it, but they're uh they're putting it out there.
Okay. Okay.
So there's my
Uh
little bit of whiskey news,
that is cool news.
right?
It's not for everybody, but that's cool
It's not,
news.
that's fine.
That's definitely cool news. I like that.
I'm gonna wear the shit out of it. Just waiting for it to get here.
Yeah. Uh
You got
do
any?
we
You got
have
any? Got any cool whiskey news?
very interesting thing I saw through this no, not no whiskey news really. No one really released anything.
Not really. No.
Uh no one really released anything this year. This month that was interesting. Beside Uncle Nearest that released their single barrel, they're releasing more single barrels out there. Uh,
They were also did a they just released a rye as well.
no, yeah, the rye have been out. Uncle Nearest there is a rye, and they had a rye single barrel and a rye and a regular rye that is 100 proof. For some reason, it's not bonded, but it's 100 proof. So I need
Oh,
to dig deeper.
Matt just dropped a bomb in the chat there.
Um, what is it? The TTB updated the guideline for social.
Huh.
For social media, or he said the TTB updated the guideline for social.
I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, is it social media? What does the TTB update it? Would you be more clear? Sometimes I love this because I love that people actually are telling us things that we need to know, because some of these news will meet, and some when we have industry friends, it actually is a good thing to actually listen to our industry friend
Social media guidelines.
or social. Okay,
Wow.
on things that you can put up or can put up. So this is a good thing. Yeah,
So I guess it would be alcohol beverage advertising.
yeah, probably. Probably on how you advertise some of your, I'm sure how you advertise some of your stuff out there. The
Yeah,
last
it
statement
was
on influencers is the reading point. Oh,
ooh.
the last statement on influencers is the reason point. Ooh, okay. Okay, I will be curious to go read about that. But if you have any hot takes, I can hear hot takes. So on news, somewhat related to whiskey, let's talk about uh, Goose Island Stout.
Goose Island Stout. Did you get any?
Every Black Friday, Goose Island will usually screw us over by telling us that they're putting things out for us to actually have. This year on Whiskey News, Goose Island have released three special Goose Island beside their normal stout that they come up with that are different things. That is the Biscotti this year. Let me make sure I read you each single one that they came up with. So if you don't know Goose Island make yearly stouts that come out, and I personally collect those stout and drink them through the year. So for all of you guys here, um, let me make sure I read you what
Biscotti, an old Fitzgerald.
yeah. So I want to make sure also something. Um, let me see. Brett is my good my Goose Island guy. the funny thing is you need to know somebody that live in Chicago if you want all of them or the good stuff. So
Or
that's
wake up at the crack of dawn
or wake up at the crack of dawn
and go stand in line.
and go stand in line for no reason. So just FYI. So for all of you guys here, I wanted to give you guys a heads up. So they have the original stout that they came up with. That's now either 16 or 8 ounce. They have the biscotti. They have the Sir Isaac stout. They have their coffee stout, which was the new one. They actually have an original coffee stout. The propriety stout. And what they did is the 30-year anniversary and their 2-year barley wine. So the 30-year anniversary referred to Bocano. The first time he ever drank with Bocano, he actually aged some whiskey in some Bocano,
That's dope.
some Booker's stout, some Booker's barrel. A 2-year wine barley was aged in old Fitzgerald um cask. Last year, what they came up with was they always have a little bit of a Heaven Hill in there. They also had some
Had some Weller too, right?
they had some in Weller and they had some in what do you call it in Elijah Craig. But the biggest one is a 30-year anniversary reserve stout. That's the 30-year, and he wanted to actually commemorate when he met Booker. No. So that's the biggest one. The proprietary stout is only in Chicago. If you don't live in Chicago, you cannot get that one.
Got
Everything
it.
else
Got it.
is available in the market. It comes out every Black Friday. So if you look in your market, you can find that. Let's talk about you done fucked up. Let's talk
You
about
done fucked up.
speaking of stouts. Speaking of stout, I'm not one to talk shit about people's product. You know me.
It's true.
I'm not one to talk shit about people's product. But I feel sometimes like people exaggerate in things that they come up with. That's the last thing I'm going to say before we start the closing argument. This right here was a marketing gimmick. This right here was a marketing gimmick. So, for all the people that don't understand, barley wine is not your coffee stout. So if you're expecting like coffee stout, the creaminess and all that can come out of something, you have to read the label. This says barley wine stout ale.
A 7-year barley wine at that.
This right here is caca.
Are you not a barley wine fan?
Barley wine did not do it. I don't believe that if the first thing you're gonna put out to go against what the best is on the market should be barley wine. Even Goose Island that put out a bunch of shit was smart enough not to actually start anything in barley wine. The barley wine are rough. You kind of have to let them sit for a while. I've tried this thing. Y'all then fucked up on this one. The first time you put out something from Buffalo Trace, you put out something so crass and so hoppy.
It's Sierra Nevada, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very hoppy. As hoppy as hell. And I've had stuff from Sierra Nevada that are not that happy.
I will say, as far as what Sierra Nevada normally puts out, I think it was a huge improvement, but the beer was definitely a bit of a disappointment.
That was Sierra Nevada. You then drag. This was
Did
did
it not taste like cream soda to you?
Oh no.
Huh. Okay.
It tasted like a hoppy, a bunch of grass. Like I was chewing on grass.
Interesting.
Call me a cow. moo while I was drinking that. And the next day, it gave me a fucking headache,
Huh.
like a major headache.
Okay. Interesting.
That'll be a no for me.
That's a no, Frank.
Sierra Nevada ruined barley wine for me. And to make it worse, they actually took the tateress of the tater barrel to actually do
You
it.
gotta admit though, they did great on their packaging.
The packaging. This is what being a tater gets you. This right here.
They nailed that shit. Tube
This
and all.
right here will get your nipples hard as a tater.
Oh, it's fantastic.
But I hate to say it, the donkey of the day, the you done fucked up of the day for me is Sierra Nevada on this goddamn barley wine. They get the you done fucked up of the day. They could have done anything else.
Wow.
Anything else.
You really hate it.
Or and I thank God this was given to me. But when we opened the person, like no one could finish it. And we all love like very stout and that we all we like, really? What the hell happened here? You couldn't explain, but what do I know? I just love stouts. So maybe somebody who would like to chew on grass will love this. But I would tell you one thing, Sierra Nevada then fucked up on this one in my book. I saw something interesting also during the holiday that was quite interesting that I was hoping to actually find on Twitter. Somebody actually asked a question that was quite interesting, and I was like, oh, that's a good question to ask. The person said, what would you rather have? Rebel 10 or Russell 10?
Oh.
Rebel 10 single barrel or Russell 10? This question came from Canada.
Right at my fucking heart. Yep. Oh, man.
Rebel 10 Castrin, which is a single barrel, or Russell 10. If you hear, for the 5 people that's still watching us, if you hear, put it in the comment. What would you rather have? Russell 10 or Rebel 10?
So I will say this, okay? I will answer this in a slightly different way, okay? If it's this Rebel...
Yeah, that's the one, the single barrel. Yeah.
This is the OG one before the name got changed and when they were still doing like 13 and 14-year-old whiskey with the 10-year label.
The new label. The new label.
Okay, so if it's new label, I'm this. I'm still going to stick with my baby right here.
Russell 10?
Russell 10.
If
it's old label Rebel?
What are you up to? Russell 10 or Rebel Yell 10? I'm curious.
If it's the Rebel that's out today, I'm gonna go Russell's. If it's the old Rebel, when it was still had some extra aged whiskey and it had the old name, then it would be that guy. But what about you?
Russell. There's nothing about Rebel that I ever liked. They just changed the name because of the time, but there's nothing about it.
Exactly. Right.
There's nothing about them that I've ever liked. I actually don't own a bottle of it. I've tried a sip of it before I was told it was it. So I won't even know. But Russell 10 would definitely be the winner for me at any time. So anything else that people need to know before we actually close the day? Actually, this show on time this time.
Yeah. Believe it or not. Nope. I got nothing. Come see me.
Next week.
Come hang out.
Next week. Ian said Russell's 10 for sure. I definitely agree. Russell's 10 definitely is the shit.
Next week we're going fishing.
December 5th.
We're going fishing for some tuna. For some tuna. For some full tuna.
Okay.
Because we're gonna have Pablo from Rare Character.
Pablo from Rare Character is joining us so we can talk about Red Character and what is it that they try to accomplish.
Yeah.
That's next week for y'all. Hope you guys are having a good day, a better day than I did. This was Monday Sucks. For all of you guys that actually had a chance to celebrate a little bit, happy you did. Next week, we're bringing you something new again. Looking forward to what you got going on. This is where we say adieu, and we'll see you next week. Cheers,
Cheers,
y'all.
dude.